guys, welcome to another video. And I know I got my bangs cut. I recently just spontaneously did it. I don't know how to feel about it just yet, but today we're going to be doing a February wrap-up video. I'm just gonna say this now, I actually didn't finish reading any books in the month of Feb. I was going back and forth between two books. For the most part of February, I was reading The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This is the first book in the First Law trilogy. If you don't know about the First Law trilogy, it's basically a grimdark fantasy series, and there's a few series set in the same world that Joe Abercrombie has created. I can't really elaborate more on the plot itself, just because I don't know where the plot is going as of yet. I feel like there's a few different storylines that are happening. We're basically following 4 different central characters. They're from very different backgrounds. We kind of have like an upper class aristocratic fencer champion that we're following, and then we're also following a torturer, an inquisitor, whatever you call him. He's kind of almost like a cripple, but he does have a deeper backstory that comes to play later on in the story. And then I think you're also following a barbarian and also a wizard mage kind of character. There are a few other secondary characters that we do get the perspective of, but for the most part it is following these central characters. So far I like the perspective of a few of the characters. Maybe one of them I'm not too fond of as of yet, but so far interesting setup, but I think there's more to the plot line that is not yet revealed to me. So I can't really say much of the overall story because I haven't read the full thing. I had struggled through this. Not that I'm saying it's a bad book. I am quite enjoying it, but it is a very slow start. With that being said, it is a slow build up, and I think it is good in a sense where it's establishing the world, and then we're introduced to our main characters and what their lives are like. I am 200 pages in so far. I am enjoying it. It's just a very slow read, and I think for the month of February I was quite busy with a few things in my life, so I didn't have a lot of time to read, or I can say that I was wasting a lot of the free time that I had. Let's be real, I was kind of distracted. I don't know, I feel like I had a few things on in the month of Feb, but also I don't think I spent my time wisely when it came to book reading, which I will try and fix during the month of March. So I was reading this. I didn't actually finish the book yet, so you'll probably see this officially in a wrap-up hopefully at the end of March. The second book that I picked up was a collection of poetry, and this is I Love My Love by Raina Biddy. I ended up picking this one up because I forget the booktuber's name. I don't remember the booktuber's name that I watched a video on. She mentioned that she really loved this book, but I'll link her channel down in the descriptions below. But yeah, I ended up picking this book up because she raved on about it, and I was very curious. I'm always a bit curious to check out new poetry. I haven't had the best luck with poetry, like a lot of the collections that I've read. There's a few poems that I really like, and then for the most part it's kind of like 30% of poems I like in a poetry collection, and the other 70% I'm a bit meh about. I am slowly going to read through this. It's not like I'm gonna read it all in one go. It's kind of a collection that I'm going through every now and then. So far look, I wouldn't say this is my favorite poetry collection. Also, the way it's written is kind of not in the way that I like to read poems. It's not the style of poetry that I like, but some of the poems are very encouraging and meaningful. Other ones not so much, but I would say it's kind of semi-uplifting, but also there's sad ones too. So I don't know. Obviously I didn't finish the poetry collection, but from what I've read I do enjoy some of them, but some of them I'm a little bit disconnected with because I can't really relate to it, and also the style of poetry is very modernized, so it's not sort of poetry that I'm usually into. So I don't know, we'll see. This is something that I'll probably finish later on in the year because I'm just taking it pretty slow. I'm not reading it every day. It's like whenever I feel like I want to read some sort of poem, I'll pick this one up. Those were the 2 books that I read and currently reading, but I shall continue on with it. I hope you can forgive me for not giving a more in-depth view on these books as of yet. I will get to it probably at a later month. Now we're going to go into what I spent most of the month watching, which is WandaVision. It's the latest Disney Plus TV show that's Marvel related, and I had such a fun time with this series. It had a very unique beginning. Each episode, it goes through a decade in time and it kind of encompasses a certain sitcom of that decade, and it's filmed so well. I definitely felt like it had a charming quality to it. I definitely was enjoying the show for the most part. When I thought of the show overall, I think it started at a very simple premise and then it kind of revealed like a bigger complex storyline. I don't know if you guys are into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's quite a broad kind of thing now. It's such a big part of media, the Marvel Studios, so it can be overwhelming. But I would say if you are a fan of Doctor Strange, because I feel like WandaVision is definitely going into the mystical side of Marvel. It's very magic related and it's a bit like bizarre in the way the story is set up. I thought it was a very creative way to tell a story, and I'm very curious now if they are going to do a season 2 or if they're just going to connect this up to the big movies that are going to come out in the near future. But I thought that it was such a charming show, but it had an underlying layer of kind of a unsettling tone as well, which was very kind of edgy for Disney, but it was a fun show to watch and I would highly recommend it. I do know that some people might find the first 2 or 3 episodes to be a bit more slower. I personally really liked it because I thought like the overall look was very well put together, and I thought the humor was really cute and smart, and I just had a fun time watching all the episodes actually. It did unravel into like a bigger story because at the beginning you're kind of stuck in this little sitcom world and you don't know what's going on between Wanda and Vision. But yes, I had a fun time with this show and I would highly recommend it. I am excited now to watch the Loki show. So that's it for WandaVision. On Letterboxd, I gave WandaVision, like the whole season, a 4 out of 5 stars. I'm very curious to see what happens with Wanda in the future. I was very happy with the execution of the show because I was very curious of what WandaVision was about. I'm not very familiar with these 2 characters from the comics because I don't really read Marvel comics. That's why I'm not very well versed in this Marvel universe, but I definitely think the show was well put together. I kind of followed it well, and I think anything that I felt a little bit curious about, I did, you know, go on YouTube and watch like each episode review videos, and then I gleaned extra knowledge of like what's in like comic books and stuff, and I got kind of wrapped around in like people's predictions and like analysis on each episode. So it was kind of like a fun little thing that I got into in the month of Feb. But otherwise, overall, I was very much happy with the show and how it's executed, and I love how it has now magic because now we've got WandaVision being an actual witch. And so yeah, I'm very curious to see what happens next. Anyway, we're gonna move on. The next 2 things that I'm gonna mention are 2 movies that I watched in the month of February, and it is John Wick 2 and 3. Now this was actually a rewatch because I've watched John Wick so many times before. It's like one of my favorite like action movies. It's kind of like if you want to watch like a mindless action movie, like the John Wick series is so entertaining, and also the stunts. If you're like really into like action movies and stunts in movies, John Wick is the movie for you because it has such incredibly choreographed stunt scenes. I think the director is a stuntman. The way the action is presented is so well done. It's so entertaining. I know some people might find it trashy, but it's a franchise that I really like, and I think, I don't know why I decided to watch it in the month of Feb, but I ended up watching John Wick 2 and 3. I have nothing to comment on. I liked both of them, and yeah, otherwise that's it, guys. That's all that's kind of like the media I consumed this, well, not this month, it's March now when I'm filming this. So those were the kind of stories and medias that I consumed during the month of Feb. It's not that interesting, but yeah, I don't know. So these are the 2 books that I read or was reading during the month of Feb but didn't finish. Clearly, is there anything that you can recommend to me? Because I feel like I'm a little bit in a reading rut right now. So I guess that's it, guys. I'm sorry that I didn't have a very, how should I say it, a very efficient. I feel like I was in a bit of a reading slump in the month of Feb, and I'm hoping that I can get out of that reading slump in March. Let's hope that that can happen. I don't know if I'm gonna be a bit more efficient with my reading in March, but we'll see. I'm gonna try and actively read more this month. If there's anything interesting that you're reading right now, please let me know. Please recommend me anything interesting that you've read or have watched as of late, and I will try and check it out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is probably a very short video because I didn't need to talk about much. Thanks again, as always, for watching until the end if you have, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!